Right. Good evening, children. And today we will start with the new topic, environmental biology. Especially, I thought of starting with this lesson with 12s. This is the most easiest text content lesson where you can read it, go through what I explain. The things what we have to continue as environment. First of all, it talks about what is environment. What is environment? Environment is a complex. It says everything surrounding us. Everything surrounding us can be either physical thing or chemical thing, as well as the living things. Living things. It says environment is a complex of physical, chemical, and biotic factors that act upon an organism or an ecological community. Now it says a complex of physical, chemical. Aware of these things, don't try to by heart, but when it comes to the definition of environmental biology or ecology, it has a very precise definition. Don't try to understand word by word exact meaning of the definition. The definition, what it means, is given in other words. In the next two lines, what it has given as environmental biology is the content that you have to have with you. But when they ask to write the definition, you have to write all the wordings given according to the definition. First, I will read it out. A scientific study of the origin, functions, relationships, interactions, and natural history of living populations, communities, species, and ecosystems in relation to dynamic environmental process. Now think what sort of a relationship or meaning that you can get by writing all these words. Is something, a collection of terms. Of course, it seems to be like that. But what is environmental biology? It is the study of living and non-living things found in the environment along with their relationships. Very simply, what you have to understand what is environmental biology. You have to study about the living things. You have to study about the scientific study about the non-living things of in the environment, right? And what sort of interaction that exists? What are the relationships that found in between living, non-living, and living, non-living? Then as a whole, we study. That idea is there given in the last two lines here. In other words, like that, in this two lines, what you can see, environmental biology there. Then, why we learn? Why we learn? Now, these are not to by heart. These are for you to understand. Why we learn environmental biology? Because we have to know the living and non-living things surrounding environment, surrounding us, as well as how they interact. And at the other level, at the other important thing, you have to understand the recognize organizational levels of the environment. Now please, my dear student, now refer to the note what I have given. The things what I have given. Now in the groups, I have given you particular note. In unit 1, at the very beginning of the lesson of biology, we have learned the organization levels of living matter, starting from molecular to biosphere. But when we talk about the organizational levels, of the environment, it starts from individual or organized organism. We'll come to that later because we have discussed in the next point. And recognize different components of the terrestrial and aquatic ecology. Different components of terrestrial and aquatic ecology. When we think of the land environment and its living, non-living and their relationships, as well as how it differ from the living, non-living and their interactions found in aquatic environment, because we discuss some ecosystems and their behaviors in future discussions. Next one, why we discuss understand how human activities are altering ecological systems. Now, under this part, what we discuss is about sorry for the disturbance, some are still try to log, right. Recognize different components of the terrestrial and aquatic ecology. Next, understand how human activities are altering ecological systems. Understand how human activities are altering ecological systems. Right? Here, mainly, some human activities will change the existing nature. For example, deforestation, combustion of fossil fuels. These human activities cause to increase the carbon dioxide level. Then the whole environment is subjected to adverse impact. Under that, we discuss the pollutions, environmental pollutions, and the impacts, what causes for these pollutions. These things to be discussed in chapter. මේ හැම එකක්ම දරුවනේ ඔය learn environment why we learn කියන එකේ අපි ඉස්සරහට මේ chapter එකේ discuss කරන්නේවා දේලා තියෙනවා. Then the last one, it says, understand how natural changes in the environment affect species and habitat. Now, as I mentioned in the first previous one, understand how human activities altering the ecological systems. And then you have to understand is human activities will change the natural environment, of course. Some components may be increases, some components decreases, new things will be get into the environment, and some of the existing things will remove. Ultimately, organisms are affected. So what will happen? The gradual reduction of species, number of species, and why they extinct sometimes. There are many reasons, and one of the major reason they lose their habitats in the තැනක් නැති වෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට හොඳට. Right? So these things to be discussed in detail. Not this is not the lesson to be discussed. These are the topics to be discussed throughout the lessons. Now see the recognized organization levels of the environment. That is the topic which comes next. Organizational levels of the environment. Right? Starting from organism, then population, community, ecosystems and biosphere. These are the simple explanations given for each and everything. Individual type. This is the very first level, and one particular type of organisms. For example, human. In our environment, we can see the mango trees, right? So it represents one particular organism, one individual of a species. It's a living entity, right? And this, what are the characteristics? What are the characteristics of this organism? It says physiology, evolution, behavior in relation to environment factors. An organism has its own characteristics in physiological, what type of physiological thing, and the evolution, how this organism has evolved. Now both 13s and 12s, they know very well. In diversity we discuss starting from bacteria and how eukaryotic organisms have evolved into unicellular, multicellular, and huge mammals. How the history how it has given to this evolutionary line of the organisms, everything. But then come the second word, population. Second level of the environment is population. It says a group of individuals of the same species living in the same area and producing fertile offspring through interbreeding, or the another word for interbreeding is sexual reproduction. And this definition should have some other explanations within a given period of time. For example, when we talk about the population, let's say the population of coconut trees in your home garden, or let's say in your school premises, the number of mango trees. That means group of individuals of the same species. For example, Mangifera indica is a species for mango. How many mango trees are there in the right? How many mango trees are there in the school premises? Another thing, in your school premises, how many human beings are there? Maybe students, teachers, other supportive bodies. How many? How many of them are? That means all are belongs to Homo sapiens species. That is what you had, a group of individuals of the same species. එකම species එකේ අය කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද? Living in the same area. Now you have to define the area. කොහෙද? Population. The elephant population in Yala sanctuary. Elephant population in Sri Lanka. You have to specify area. And these organisms producing fertile offspring through interbreeding. That means organisms of a same species with the sexual reproduction, that means interbreeding, they should be able to produce new generation. Should be able to produce new fertile offsprings. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන් interbreed කරලා දෙන generation එක, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ offsprings means next generation is fertile, has to be fertile. ඊළඟ දෙන generation එකකට reproduce කරලා අලුත් generation එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන් අය වෙන්න ඕනේ. අන්න එහෙම organisms වලට තමයි අපි species කියන්නේ. එහෙම කොටසකට population. Population refers to the number of individuals. Right? Then we'll come to the next level, community. Let's say the same example which I explained you in your school community, school premises, the mango trees, coconut trees, humans, dogs, cats, several different populations are there, but living in the same area, interacting with each other. Right? Different types of communities. Okay, then come to ecosystems. Now, ecosystem is a collection of all communities and abiotic factors. Abiotic. What is the meaning of this word? Abiotic. Abiotic. Non-living. Abiotic means non-living. Communities represents all the living content. Why? Community means collection of population. Population means collection of individuals of each species. So if you say collection of communities, it stands for the entire living part, biotic. Living I කියලා කියන්නේ biotic, B-I-O-T-I-C, biotic, right? As well as abiotic, non-living things. Air, light, soil, temperature, and how they interact. For example, living communities. Plants absorb water from soil. Plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This is a good interaction. Human or the animals depends on plants for their food. Another relationship, interaction. Okay. Then the next level, biosphere. It says all the ecosystems, the collection of ecosystems on it. Biosphere කියද්දී life එක නැති තැනක් අපිට ගන්න බෑ. Earth, on the earth crust, earth, you can't find, if you say biosphere, the life has to be, the life form has to be there. Why? Ecosystem is a collection of all communities plus non-living. If you find non-living without life, then it is not biosphere, because biosphere means all ecosystems collectively. Now say the organization levels given in your book. Individual organisms, fish. This is aquatic one, not terrestrial. Then population, different types of fish and different arthropods, plants, sea anemone or the hydra, cnidarian, different types, different communities. Then communities all together, but it then ecosystems, living, non-living together. Biosphere, all ecosystem. Here it represents the terrestrial part. Here the aquatic part. Right. Now please look at the next page, next content which I have given to you in your previous post. In each session to be discussed according to these guidelines, because it's easier for you. That's what I gave you in advance. Right. Major biotic and abiotic components. Biotic and abiotic components. Environment components dekane. What are the two components of the environment? Living and non-living. So rather writing living and non-living, you have to say biotic, abiotic. A means no life. Biotic means life. So what are the biotic components? It's easy. Ecosystems consist of plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, protists. All five types considered as biotic components. Now, if you go through past papers and past paper answers for the past paper questions, you might come across with different answers for biotic components, because up to previous syllabus, the biotic components were given as 3. Producers, consumers, detritus. No need to buy hard, no need to write down. This is for you to clarify if you find some questions and answers in past papers. මේ syllabus එකට කලින් biotic factors 3ක් විතරයි දුන්නේ. Plant, animals, fungi, bacteria, protists කියලා නෙමෙයි දුන්නේ. Producers, consumers, detritus. එහෙම ඒවා තියෙනවා. අපි මේවා ඉගෙනගෙන නැහැ කියලා worry වෙන්න එපා. ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඉගෙන ගන්න ඒවා මේ syllabus එකට දීලා නැහැ. What it has given the living components as plants, animals, fungi, bacteria and protists. And abiotic components, non-living components. Right? At the very beginning we mentioned environment, means the surrounding physical chemical content that interact with living and that which acts upon living content. Okay, then what are the non-living things? Non-living things either physical or chemical. See the example. Water, air, light, temperature, nutrients. So water, air, light, temperature, physical things. Nutrient, chemical. Sunlight, again physical. Soil, physical plus chemical. Abiotic resources are usually obtained from lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. Right. ඔගලන්ට ඉස්සෙල්ලාට මම එක්ස්ප්‍රස් වැඩි නම් මේක ලියා ගන්න physical ඒවා තමයි water, air, light, temperature, physical. Nutrients, chemical. Sunlight, again physical. Soil has both physical and chemical factors because soil particles are physical, soil air, there are some nutrients in the soil solution, so that it carries chemical factors. Okay. Now, from where do these non-living things come? That's why abiotic resources are usually obtained from lithosphere, from earth crust. Following. මොනවාද following එන්නේ පස් එනවා නේද nutrients තියෙනවා atmosphere gases air hydrosphere water nutrients sunlight මේකකින්වත් එනවද no it comes from sun right it doesn't belong to planet earth abiotic components limit the geographic range or the distribution and abundance of species. Abiotic factors or abiotic components limit the geographic range. මේ sentence එක එච්චර deeply discuss කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මොකද biomes වලදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ deeply discuss කරනවා. Biomes කියලා එක. Next topic එකේදී දවස් 3කින් 4කින් වගේ ecology තවෙද්දී මෙන්න මේ content එක මේ concept එකට එනවා. Components limit the geological range. The distribution of rainfall, temperature, sunlight will determine the geographical nature of that area. Normally we know, for example, in Sri Lanka even there are different geological regions. Very simply, wet zone, dry zone, arid zone, according to the rainfall and temperature mainly. But there are some other factors given here. So collectively, it will determine the nature, geography of the area. According to the geography, only the different organisms are found. Just think in Puttlam or arid Puttlam, Hambantota, Kataragama like regions. The different plants and animals found. And Singharaja and the coastal areas, wet zone, the mountain forests like Worls and around Bakers Fall environment in Sri Lanka. Do you find Catcus in Singharaja? No. Carnelia like wet zone rainforest, you don't find Catcus and arid plants which are adapted to grow in arid zones. That's why it says distribution and abundance, as well as very few species are found in arid zone, whereas large number of species are found in wet zone. එක එක්කෙනාගේ environment එකේ මේ abiotic factors වල තියෙන විදිහ හැටියට geology එක decide වෙනවා. ඒ decide වෙන geology එක හැටියට තමයි එක එක සත්තුයි ගසුයි distribute වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලන් කොච්චරක් දුරට වෙනස් අය ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක determine වෙන්නේ. That's what says abundance, right? Okay. That what we discussed is about, we just discussed about two components. And the other one, the two concepts of ecosystems. If you discuss about ecosystem, the structure and function of ecosystem can be explained. Ecosystem means all communities plus non-living thing. කොහොමද මේක හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ? මේකේ ඉන්න අය මොනවද කරන්නේ? මොනවද මේක ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න යනකොට අපිට පොඩි concepts දෙකක් ඒගොල්ලන් introduce කරනවා. First is called NICHE, niche. Niche. We pronounce it as niche. The second concept is habitat. Second concept is habitat. When it comes to niche, it talks about individual organisms. And the habitat talks about species. Niche කියන එකෙන් කියන්නේ එක organism කෙනෙක් එක්ක කොහොමද ecosystem එක ගැන අපි කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. ඊළඟ එකේ කියන habitat එක ඒගොල්ලන් ඉන්න තැන කියන එක ගැන එක organism කෙනෙකුයි එයාගේ behaviors එයාට ඕන දේවල් ඒ ඔක්කොම niche කියන එකෙන් discuss කරනවා. ඒ ජාතියේ අය ඉන්න තැන කියන එකට habitat කියනවා. ඒ ජාතියේ අය ඉන්න තැන. දැන් අපි හිතමු කැලේක වඳුරෝ ඉන්නේ ගස් උඩ. නේද? හැමතැනම නැහැනේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ habitat එක කොහෙද ඉන්නේ කියන එක. Right. First one, the niche is defined as niche is the role that particular organism plays in the ecosystem. That is the definition. කොයි කාලෙට definition එක මේකම තමයි. Right? The role මොකක්ද එයාගේ role එක මේ environment එකේ. ඒක තමයි අපි niche කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? So the role includes, when you talk about the niche, it includes the needs of that organisms to live. මොනවට ඕන වෙනවද? ජීවත් වෙන්න. එයාට එතන ජීවත් වෙන්න ඕනේ මොනවද? සහ එයා එතන ජීවත් වෙවි කරන්නේ මොනවද? අන්න ඔය ටික තමයි niche කියන එකෙන් අපි understand කරන්නේ. That is what we refer to role. Role එක කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවද include වෙන්නේ? මොනවද යාට ඕනේ එතන ජීවත් වෙන්න? එයා ඒව අරගෙන එතන ජීවත් වෙද්දි මොනවද කරන්නේ? ඔය ටික තමයි මේ niche කියන word එකට include වෙන්නේ. Right. It says each and every organism has its own role. Right? It's very simply explained. In other words, niche is how an organism makes its living. This involves how the organism gets its energy. Organisms, how they get energy. So what are the needs? Do you remember that I just mentioned the role? The role, it's a part of what they obtain. What they obtain? They obtain energy. They obtain food, shelter, place to live. So everything they need. And how they interact. If they need food, how they interact. Whether it is a herbivore, it is a carnivore, if it's a parasite, if it's a predator, how they interact. And it says which usually has to do with what an organism eats and how the organism passes the energy. කොහොමද plant එකක් energy අරගන්නේ, කොහොමද යා අනිත් අයට දෙන්නේ. An organism's niche also includes how the organism interact with other organisms. Its role recycling nutrients, tolerance to environment conditions such as temperature. කොහොමද temperature එක වැඩි අඩු වෙද්දි කොහොමද නේ soil nature එකත් එක්ක කොහොමද ඒගොල්ලන් ගනුදෙනු කරන්නේ. ඒ වගේ තමයි එයාගේ processes. Then come to habitat. Habitat is a physical area. It's a physical area where species live, not the single organisms. That's the difference. මේ ජාතිය අය කොතනද ජීවත් වෙන්නේ environment එකේ? මොන වගේ තැනකද? Right. Many environment factors are used to describe a habitat. The average amount of sunlight received each day, the range of annual temperature, and the average yearly or the annual rainfall describes the habitat. මං කිව්වේ wet zone එකේ කොහොමද ගස් හැදෙන්නේ? එතකොට ඒවැ ඉන්නේ මොන වගේ සත්තුද, මොන වගේ epiphytes ද? කොහොමද dry zone එකේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කොහොමද animals ලා right these and other abiotic factors of the environment such as soil condition will determine the kind of traits කියන්නේ මොන જાතියයිද මොන type එකේ organisms ලාද must have in order to survive ඒ කියන්නේ arid zone එකේ හැදෙන arid zone එකේ ඉන්න පුළුවන් ඒවා මේ හොඳට මේ fern එකක් වගේ වතුර ගොඩක ඉන්න පුළුවන් එකක් පුළුවන්ද ඔය ගිනි කාෂ්ඨක අවුවක හැදෙන්න බෑ අන්න ඒකයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ environment factors එක ඒගොල්ලන් tolerate කරගන්න පුළුවන් අය පුළුවන් තැන්වල ඉන්නවා. If they are shady loving and very fragile plant parts, they tend to live in very moist environments. The habitat is the actual place of the ecosystem where ecosystem includes both the biotic and abiotic factors. Right? Now, for today, that's enough because for some of you are a little aware of this kind of lessons. Some of you, especially grade 12, this is the very first lesson that I discussed with them online. Don't worry about the lesson where we have stopped. It's not very convenient to deliver like this because in ecology you have to study, you have to by heart these things as it is. Right? Make a පුළුවන් ඔයගලන්ට තියෙන doubts තියෙනවා නම් if you have doubts please you can question them to the group or personally WhatsApp your doubts by quoting the things doesn't matter. So again after finishing this session again we will do the same continuation of the next lesson next Friday and we'll see what we can do with 2 sessions or like that. We'll develop it later. For the time being, get used to this. Don't worry. And for 12s, I'll send some papers or share some papers. Try to answer. For ecology even, from next week, there are some questions. And 13, of course, might think that we can continue a little bit. But anyway, cope up with this. 1 or 2 weeks of time we can continue this up to 2 lessons. It depends according to the lesson, right? According to the lesson, right? And we have another 1 or 2 at least 5 minutes. I think we can discuss this part, interactions between abiotic and biotic components. Then in ecology environment එකේදී කියවනේ living interactions තියෙනවා. Now what is the given example? මීට වඩා ඕන තරම් ඒවා තියෙයි. හැබැයි ලියන්න නම් යන්න එපා. ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නැහනේ. දෙන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ දීපුවා ලිව්වොත් විතරයි. Biotic living. Competition. For example, competition for food. එක අඹ ගෙඩියක් දෙනවා. ලේනු 5 දෙනෙක් විතර ඉන්නවා. Competition. එක අඹ ගෙඩියක් දෙනවා. ලේනු 5යි ගිරව් 10ක ඉන්නවා. Big competition between different species. ලේනු විතරක් නම් ලේනු අතර විතරයි competition, right? Feeding relationship. Predators, for example, parasite. Feeding relationship. Symbiotic relationships. This is another topic that we discussed during our lessons. And between individuals and species. Can understand no එක එක්කෙනා හරි species අතර හරි. කිව්වේ competition එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා. Feeding නම් species දෙකක් අතරනේ. ගොඩක් predator. Cheetah deerව කනවා. Predator feeding relationship. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි ගස් වලින් දේවල් කනවා. Feeding relationship. Biotic. අපිටත් පණ තියෙනවනේ. Biotic, abiotic. Plants uptake water from soil. පොළවට පණ නැහැ නේද? පණ තියෙන අපි හිටියට පොළවේ. Abiotic. Non-living interactions. Chemical reactions occurring in the soil. You will learn in microbiology how many chemical reactions take. Now see, the feeding relationships within ecosystem develop food webs, which is to be discussed next week, right? How we discuss food chain. Okay, now I think there are 34. Don't know how many 12s didn't get it. But anyway, I'll try to share this session, the recording of this session. Those who are not in the today's lesson can share. නේද දැන් හොඳින් ඉන්නවා නේද දැන් මෙච්චර ලොකුවට හිතන්න එපා බය වෙන්න එපා ඉතින් දැන් මේ හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ ගොඩක් කල් වෙනවා ඉගෙන ගන්න හම්බ වෙන එකක් නැහැ ඇවිල්ලා පුළුවන් තරමක් කරමු පුළුවන් දවසට හරියට කවර් කරගන්න පුළුවන් බය වෙන්න එපා අනවශ්‍ය විදිහට එක්කෙනෙකුට නෙමෙයි ඕගලන්ට මේ ටික හරිය තියෙනවා ලංකාවේ මුකුත්ම නැති තවත් ගොඩක් අය ඉන්නවා right you can comment your ideas or your doubts please send them to the group so now when it comes to the energy you have to aware for this planet Earth we receive energy mainly from sun. Sun is the main source of energy, right? So it provides energy continuously. It provides energy continuously. But when it comes to material, elements and matter, physical materials are recyclable. අපේ ලෝකෙට කොහෙන්වත් carbon dioxide එක පිට supply කරන්නෙත් නැහැ oxygen supply කරන්නෙත් නැහැ අපෙන් අය අරන් යන්නෙත් නැහැ. We have recycled. We have to produce. We have to recycle carbon dioxide. Plants only absorb. They plant to absorb carbon dioxide. Fix in photosynthesis in food, and through in our respiration we eliminate. Plant during their respiration they eliminate carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide again absorb. තේරෙනවද elements කියන ඒවා අපිට ආකාශයෙන්වත් කොහෙන්වත් aliens ලා වගේවත් එන්නේ නැහැ. මේ අපේ ලෝකයේ ඇතුලේ තියෙන ටික කොහොම හරි planet එකේ තියෙන ටික roll කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඒකයි recycling. Energy is not recycling. ඒකනේ ඔබ ගානක් නැහැ. ඉර පායනවා ලෝකෙට ඇති තරම් energy එනවා. ඕන විදිහට use කරනවා. නේද? දැන් ඔන්න ඔය concept එක තමයි food chain එකේ අපි discuss කරන්න යන්නේ. කැමති අය ඉන්නවා නම් note එක කියවන්න. කමක් නැහැ. කියවත් දෙන doubts අහන්න. Unit 8 continue කරමු 12 ලා. Don't worry. The diversity නිකන් මෙහෙම ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඇරලා කියලා තේරුමක් නැහැ. පුළුවන් ප්‍රමාණයකට ආපුවාම කරන්න. අවශ්‍යයි කියලා හිතුනොත් මේක තව මාස දෙකක්වත් ඩ්‍රැග් වෙනවා නම් පොඩ්ඩක් පටන් ගන්නම්. ඒ ඇරෙන්න නම් තේරුමක් නැහැ පුතා ඔයාලට ඒක කියා දෙනවා කියන එක. කියවන්න doubts තියෙන එකක් අහන්න. Okay.